Hi, I'm Elena here, and I'm going to do a semi-belated November book haul. So, they're in three different categories, and the first one, in a lot of my book hauls, I have gotten a majority, or at least a good chunk of the books from the free bin of where my sister worked at. But, this is my last stack that I'm going to have from the free bin because, I now work at that same place and employees aren't allowed to take books from the free bin, so these are my last free bin books, like the ones that they had too many of or that were too beat up or old or for whatever reason they didn't take and they decided to give away for free. This is my last stack that's going to be like that. So I have this stack, then I have books that I bought myself with money that I now have through a job, and books that I got for my birthday because my birthday was the 10th of November. And, yeah, so, the first book that I have here is a little beat up, but, it seemed really interesting. It's called Die Softly by Christopher Pike. I have read quite a few Christopher Pikes before. He's very similar to kind of like R.L. Stine, and the cover is kind of, cut up, but aside from that, it's in alright condition, and it's about, like, this guy who takes pictures, and he has like a camera set up in the girls' locker room because he's like a creeper, but then a murder takes place in the girls' locker room, and they're like, he might have actually got it on camera because there was a camera there. So it looks good. And next here I have Dangerous Behavior by Nancy Bush. I had never heard of this before getting it from the free bin, and the little like first paragraph thing in the blurb on the back was what made me want to pick it up. It says, just one look and it's perfect, and it's clear they're perfect together. It's in the way they touch, talk, and kiss. They share the same interests, the same twisted passions. They do everything together, even kill. And I was like, it sounds like this couple that gets together and then just starts murdering people, kind of like that true story of that they made that movie about called Carla. It sounds disturbing, and it sounds like it'd be fun, and Lisa Jackson blurbed it, so it's probably good. This next one I would have not normally picked up. It is The House on the Strand by Daphne du Maurier. I am reading, or at least for a majority of the month of November, I was reading this book called Writers on Writing, and it's like writing advice and quotes separated into different sections of like the writing process, and it's advice from very popular or famous authors. And there was lots of advice and quotes from her, and I'm like, I liked a lot of what she had to say about the writing process, so I wanted to see if I would actually like her writing. So I'm not really sure what this is about. I don't know. I think it involves time travel or people falling in love. I have no idea, but I wanted to see if I was into her writing as much as I liked her nonfiction writing on writing advice. And then next here is just a giant stack of poetry. I've been really wanting to get into more poetry books. I've slowly been obtaining like one here or there, either on my Kindle or in physical form, and then one day the entire bin was full of like nothing but like a bunch of poetry books. So this first one here is the only one that looks different from the rest, and it's called Poet Lore, a second century of new writing, and it's like different poetry, and the cover has a tornado on it. So I was like, why not? And then I ended up taking like 3,000 of these tiny things called just I guess poetry, and they do a little booklet for each month, and they like do it for a long time. So I got like different ones from like 2012 all the way to 2016, and they have different poets compiled in there. So I picked the ones that either the cover looked really pretty or the poem quoted on the back really got my interest. So I have this one, which the cover was alright, but the quote was talking about why people, like why readers prefer physical books compared to ebooks, and the kind of love that a physical book has with it. Then there's this one, which the cover is, again, alright. but this one I liked the quote on the back again, and it says, "Don't think you're the only bastard who ever suffered, just write as if you were." Then I have this one that has a gorgeous cover. This one, which again, that one was more for the cover. This one, the same kind of gist, because it has like, the covers have really nice art that I think some of them are done by the poets featured in there. And then this one. So those are all of the ones that I obtained from the free bin. And yeah, so then here I have an ARC, and this is the first ARC that I've picked up from my job, and not from my sister getting them from her job and then giving them to me. And this is called Everything Here is Beautiful by Myra T. Lee. And I thought the cover, first of all, is really pretty because I love red, and it has like butterflies on it. And it's about these two sisters, and there's like a little age gap, and one of them is very crazy and impulsive and does like, you know, stupid decisions and stuff, and the other one is like thought of the more responsible one who just wants to protect her sister and stuff like that. And the way that the blurb was kind of phrased, it reminded me of my relationship with my sister, so I thought that it would be fun. And it's blurred by Celeste Ng, which lots of people constantly praise for books on BookTube, so that's cool. And it comes out January 16 of 2018. So there's that one. Then everything else here is purchased. This first deck that I have here, I bought all of these books myself, and then the rest are birthday gifts. So the first one that I have here is Dark Lover by J.R. Ward, and it's the first book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series that I had heard a lot about. I have obtained random books like 5 and 8 in the series from different ones that they've thrown in the free bin in the past, but I've always wanted to get the first one to see if I would actually be into the series, and so I picked it up. I think it's like about vampires and vampire slayers falling in love, which I've always was really into Buffy growing up, so it sounds cool. It was like $2.50 at my job or something, so I decided to pick it up, and yeah, if I get into it, then I'll probably start obtaining the books slowly throughout these hauls. Then next, it was on sale at my job, for $2, I believe, and it is The Witches of East End by Melissa de la Cruz. I love Melissa de la Cruz. I'm obsessed with her, Isle of the Lost Descendants novels that she writes, and I love witches, and I have seen that they have the TV show adaptation of Witches of East End on Netflix, so I really want to watch it, but I need to read the book first, because that's a thing of mine that I do. And yeah, they have a couple of the other books in the series, so again, I will continue going through them if I like this one, and it was cheap, so there you go. Then the next one that I have here is one that wasn't used at my job, but it was new, but it's one of their like clearance books that they had that got shipped in from like corporate or whatever, and it was like the ones that they usually have in the bargain section of Books A Million. We have that same thing on like a back wall, and it is called The You I've Never Known by Ellen Hopkins. This has been on my wish list for a while. I honestly don't know much of what it's about, because a lot of people said that the blurb that they put on Goodreads and in the like inside dust jacket flap thing reveals too much about the story. But lots of people were praising it, saying it was really good. I've read like 8 to 10 Ellen Hopkins books, and for the most part, besides like 2 or 3, I've loved them all. And I do know that this focuses on a female teen lead who is bisexual. So I think that's enough for me to want to get into it. And then the last book here that I purchased myself was the most expensive book that I purchased. It was about $24, $25. But it was one of my most anticipated releases of the year, even though I own multiple copies of it. And there was no way that I was not going to buy it as soon as I could. I had to hunt this down at Barnes & Noble because they do not sell it where I work. And it's the limited edition 10-year anniversary of City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. for those of you who don't know, I am obsessed with the series. They are some of my favorite books of all time, and probably one of the most important books that I've ever read in my life is City of Bones, because it led to this like huge love that I have for the books, and I discovered BookTube through that and all that stuff, and I have like a rune tattoo, and I just love this, and I will continue getting all of the Cassandra Clare books that she releases. But like, this is gorgeous. It has like this matte kind of, I think they said it was like a stitching finish. It is a naked hardback, which I love. The spine and the front and like is gorgeous, and then they have the quote, all the stories are true, on the back, and then gold edged pages, and then when you open it, the end papers are like illustrations of like Clary, and then you got Jace with his falcon, and I think all of the illustrations are done by Cassandra Jean, and then there's like full page illustrations on the inside, and also in the chapter headers, if I can find one. And there's like so much, like there's one right there, and there's so much added content that definitely in the beginning of the year I plan on rereading this so that I can make sure that I see all the illustrations and all the things that are new. I believe there's some added clave files in the back. There is a map in here, and yes, I'm probably going to reread this for like the bajillionth time in the beginning of 2018. So yes, this is the most gorgeous book I've ever seen in my life. And now I'm going to go through the books that I got for my birthday. To stay in the Cassandra Clare theme, my sister got me City of Bones by Cassandra Clare and City of Ashes. That is also by her. These are books 1 and 2 in the Mortal Instrument series. I obviously already own these and have already read these, but in the original US editions, I never had the hardcovers of them. I only had the paperbacks of the first 2 books, and then the rest I have in hardcover, so now my complete series is in hardcover, and they are so pretty. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of this. My sister knew that I was always trying to get them to where they all matched and all lined up in the same height, so she said that she was the one who wanted to get these for me, and she wanted to say that she contributed these to my collection. And then the rest of the birthday books are from my mother. The first one I have here is Etiquette and Espionage by Gail Carriger, and this is the first book in the Finishing School series. This is a YA steampunk series about this like school that kind of is a, like, what do they call that? Like an etiquette, like a manners school, but it also teaches girls how to be spies, and it's like in the Victorian era and stuff, and I've heard nothing but good things about this series and her Parasol Protector series, so when I saw this, I really wanted it, so she picked it up for me. And another one that I have here is Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, or J.K. Rowling. I know that this is a murder mystery novel about a woman who I believe is famous in some sort of way. I think she's a model or an actress. And I have heard really good things about this in comparison to some of her other adult novels that she's written outside of like Harry Potter. And I thought I might start with this because I have not read the Harry Potter series yet, and it kind of intimidates me, and my copies are in storage anyway, so I wanted to see if I'd like this. And so I have it now. And yeah. And then the last book here is so beautiful. It is called 5-Minute Star Wars Stories, and it's huge, and it looks like this. And it is basically illustrated stories, and it goes back and forth between like the original trilogy, the prequels, and the new Force Awakens movie. And the illustrations are gorgeous. That's like probably one of my favorites in the book. And then, so yeah, I wanted this, and my mom got it for me. So there you go. And that's about it for the books. This is probably my smallest haul yet, because the 11th, the day after my birthday, is when I started working there, so I only had access to the free bin for the first 10 days of the month, and after that, all of the books had to either be gifts or purchases that I myself made. But Yes, if you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you would like to see more of my face and my books.